Hey guys, happy Monday. All right, social studies, new week, week 11. And this week we are talking about maps and different kinds of maps. So basically by the end of the week, without having to read all this crazy stuff, you're going to be able to tell me the differences between a couple of different maps, physical, political, thematic, and road maps, and the different things that they can show you. All right, day numero uno. So let's get this out of the way. What is a map? What is a map? So a map is a drawing of a place. There are maps that show large places, like a city block, or there's maps that show places of smaller cities or whole countries or the world, but they're drawings. Okay, so that's very important to know that these maps are drawings. They're not pictures. Okay, so in science, you might use a map of the surface of Jupiter or the surface of the moon. And I know it's crazy to think that there are maps of planets and moons, but there are. That's thanks to a bunch of different satellites and different images and stuff like that that we have been able to develop and send up into space. You can see they've got all these different seas that are named. There's craters. These, all these little mini rockets here are Apollo landings. So you can see where all these different Apollos have landed as well. All right. Maps can tell us how to get from one place to another. They can show us how much rain falls in the Sahara Desert, or they can just let us know the height of Humphreys Peak or different mountains throughout the world as well. A map is not a photograph. So someone did not snap a picture of the place and turn it into a map. No, maps have to be drawn. They are drawings, they are not pictures. Okay, so it's very important to know the difference. Someone has to draw it, and the name of the person who draws it is called a cartographer. Cartographers are the fancy names for map makers, or those people who draw maps. Now we're going to talk about some of the things that you can see on a map when you look at them. Now, maps I feel like are almost kind of making their way out of the world because we have so many ways that we can look and find directions. We can look it up online. We can use apps on our phone. So not a whole lot of people use maps anymore, but they are still around. They are still being made as well. So what is on a map? There's a map key or a map legend. Here's an example right here of a map legend. They can be called both interchangeably, keys or legend. And what they do is they tell you what all the different symbols on a map stand for. So for example, if you see this little airplane, you know that's an airport. This tree represents forest. This star with a circle around it represents the capital city. This cross is the hospital. P is a parking lot. And this little golf tee right here with the flag is a golf course. So it's really important to be able to read these map legends so that we know where all these places are on a map. A compass rose, which is right here, is a part of the map that shows us directions. There's 4 cardinal directions, north, east, south, and west, or never eat soggy waffles if you want to remember which direction is which and which order they go in. But then there's also intermediate directions, which are the directions basically in between the cardinal directions. So we've got in between, oh, where's my mouse? In between north and east, we've got northeast. In between east and south, we've got southeast. In between south and west, we've got southwest. And in between west and north, we have northwest. So those are the intermediate or the in-between directions. And north, south, east, and west are the 4 cardinal or main directions. The scale of the map, which here's an example right here, shows the relationship of the size of the map to the size of the actual place. So for example, if this part right here on a map were 1 inch long, for every 1 inch that you measured on a map, that would equal up to 100 miles. If 1 inch equaled 1 mile and 1 road equaled 5 inches, that road would be 5 inches or 5 miles long. So it kind of translates like that. All right, guys, that is all we are talking about today. We will get more in depth about different types of map tomorrow. So I will see you then, but please make sure that you are checking your folder every day for assignments so that you don't get behind and I don't have to send you a message to do your work. All right, guys, have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.